When it comes to determining where you want to live here in Phoenix, Arizona, where do you want to buy a house in Arizona? It's a lot to take in, a lot to consider. And if you're not from here like we were and coming here, it's a lot of questions. So you have your Phoenix if you want to live in Phoenix, but then really to help you determine and to break it down further. I mean, we know that you're moving to Phoenix Metro, but do you want to be in the East Valley or the West Valley? And answering a few questions may help you determine which area is going to be best for you. So if at least you know you're moving to Arizona, you know you're moving to Phoenix Metro, you know you're watching this channel because that is what you're searching. You're searching, where should I live in Phoenix, Arizona? And this is what I want to help you with. So when we do connect and help you buy a house here, at least you have a little bit understanding. Maybe you can ask better questions. So, I mean, people don't know what they don't know. So looking at the East Valley versus the West Valley, a lot of differences and yet a lot of similarities. So first things first, depending on why you're moving here, people move here for, job, maybe the economy, maybe to retire, who knows why, but that will have some importance of where you want to call home. Now, when it comes to the West Valley, I live in the East Valley, but I like a lot of aspects, regarding the West Valley. For one, the decor and really that desert vibe, I feel way more in the West Valley versus the East Valley. And I'm not saying the East Valley isn't, desert and mountains and cactus. It is, but I feel like it is more green and, suburban-ish in the East Valley. Now, I know there's gonna be some of you comment and say, Rich, you're completely wrong. What are you even talking about? Go back to Illinois. I get it, I'm not going back to Illinois. But the West Valley, I definitely feel that it's that Southwest vibe. You have, I feel like you're closer to the mountains. You have more of just the desert feel. Now you also have, neighborhoods, and you have neighborhoods in the East Valley too, but I just feel I like the views better in the West Valley versus the East Valley. Now the East Valley has some great views. I love the views of the Sientan Mountain Range in that area, but just something about the West Valley. Maybe because East Valley feels more congested to me. I don't know, but the views for the West Valley for me take it over the East Valley if I'm ranking one against the other. When it comes to homes, East Valley versus West Valley, you'll get more bang for your buck, more house for your money in the West Valley versus the East Valley. Now take a town in the West Valley, Goodyear, which is one of the fastest growing cities in the US, along with Buckeye, which is also in the East or West Valley. But take Goodyear versus Gilbert in the East Valley. Now Gilbert has, almost 3 times as many people, give or take, as Goodyear. But on average, this year to buy a home in Goodyear, the average sales price has been $550,000. Now the average sales price in 2022 for a home in Gilbert, $675,000. So I didn't break it down any further, how many bedrooms, but just the average sales price. Now there have been also about twice as many homes sold in Gilbert to Goodyear, but again, much larger town. A lot more of your higher paying jobs are going to be in the East Valley versus the West Valley. No, I'm not saying you cannot get a high paying job in the West Valley, but the majority of them, if you're ranking them side by side, are going to be in the East Valley. For example, Intel in Chandler. But you are seeing more of the tech field and stuff come to the West Valley. Now, I'm not saying the West Valley, you're not gonna get a high paying job. I'm just saying. So I'm treading with caution here. And that's the other thing, if you're looking at where should I put, where should I raise, if you're bringing a family or yourself, what is a good spot to get a foothold in? The West Valley is growing and there's more space to grow there. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot more of these master plan communities come out. And there's still that in the East Valley too, but I feel like it's more developing and there's a lot more going on with the growth, building, and development in the West Valley versus the East Valley, just because there is the space and land to do it, where the East Valley, and I'm not saying it's all used up, but they're finding little pockets here and there, and there's not quite as much open space to build and create these new communities like there is in the West Valley. Maybe I should have started the video with this, but when you look at cities versus cities, East Valley versus West Valley I'm talking about like, Goodyear, Buckeye, Anthem, Peoria, Surprise, Tolleson, places like that in the East Valley, Tempe, Chandler, Mesa, Queen Creek, Gilbert. So, I left some out, obviously, but just in whole, your major cities in each. And I didn't mention Phoenix, Scottsdale, or Fountain Hills. They kind of just stand on their own, do their own thing. But just really East Valley versus West Valley, where to live. And then when it comes to schools, so you're gonna have great schools in both places. Peoria has a great school district over in the West Valley, and East Valley, Chandler School District is top notch, Gilbert School District. So it really comes down to each individual, school district. I know when we were moving to Gilbert, we specifically looked at the Gilbert School District. Now, I wasn't gonna go through every single school district in the whole entire valley, but once I knew we were moving to Gilbert, or at least that was on our list, then that's when I started looking deeper. And if you want some more info on that, check out greatschools.org. And there's also one for private schools. I can't remember the website for that. One thing about the East Valley though, there is more charter schools than the West Valley. West Valley, they're starting to catch up, starting to build more, but the East Valley currently just has a few more charter schools than the West Valley. One thing I do like about the West Valley versus the East Valley is not quite as crowded and as congested. Now, it is busy, especially during rush hour. And if there's an accident on the freeway, which it's all the darn time, then yeah, that causes an issue. But I feel like Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, that area in the East Valley definitely gets more crowded, at least to me, compared to when I'm over in Goodyear and Buckeye. And something I really love about West Valley and East Valley is that there's so much to do in both places. So both places you have, again, great views, mountain ranges, tons of stuff you can do outdoors. And one thing I really do love about this area is the importance it seems like these community leaders and developers put into parks. Not just parks in the neighborhood, but parks in the city. There's so many cool places you can go and for free. And that's something we love doing with our family. Even when we're in the West Valley visiting friends, there's parks everywhere. So you can't go wrong, West Valley, East Valley. If, parks are important to you, things to do, head to the mountain. Estrella Mountain is awesome in the West Valley. We love Santan Mountain in the east, and Usury, McDowell Mountain. Lot of great options there. And not just mountains, things like that, but going to see sports. If you're into baseball, football, whatever. So the West Valley does lead here because the East Valley really doesn't have anything at the moment. They're working on hockey as the Coyotes figure out their move there, but you can head over to Glendale, watch the Cardinals play. Chase Field in Phoenix, so really in the middle there. If you're into NASCAR, the West Valley, they have that there, so that's pretty cool. And then the Cactus League, the spring training baseball, West Valley has 4 stadiums, East Valley has 3. So kind of a toss-up, but more of it is toward the West Valley if that's something. If you're gonna go to a lot of Cardinals games, don't wanna deal with traffic, and then maybe the West Valley, that is what's gonna win it over for you, and you don't wanna drive from the East Valley into Glendale, but honestly, it's not that bad. And if you are into water sports, you have a boat, and that's important to you, the good thing is West Valley and East Valley both have lakes that are pretty accessible. West Valley, Lake Pleasant, East Valley, Bartlett, Saguaro Lake, and you're even not too far from Canyon Lake as you head into Tortilla Flat from either location. So if water sports are important to you, yes, we're in the desert and you don't have to sell your boat, your jet ski or whatever, and you can still go fishing. West Valley, East Valley, great options there as well. So there's really a ton of pros and I don't know if you want to call it cons to each, but each one is different but similar. We love living in the East Valley. One thing I'll say, so people always wonder about crime. Now, do your own research when it comes to crime. Yes, I was a police officer, but I wasn't a police officer here. However, I do have a lot of contacts here in that field, and I talk to them quite frequently. A good friend of mine is a Goodyear police officer, and we were cops together in Illinois, and we talk about it. I'm like, oh, how's it going over there? He's like, it's boring. So if you're looking for a place to call home and you hear police officers say an area is boring, that is, that's a good sign. So if a police officer says, oh, he loves it, there's tons of action, especially for an officer who is proactive, likes to get work done, maybe that isn't an area you want to work. But when you hear an officer say an area is boring as far as police work goes, to me, that is somewhere I would love to live, raise my family. So Goodyear, boring, if that's something that's important to you. And Goodyear has some great communities. Estrella Mountain Ranch is awesome. So again, it just depends what you're looking for, your budget, you know, your commute times, what's important to you. So yes, we live in the East Valley. We live in Gilbert. We love Gilbert. But if I had to move to the West Valley, there's a lot of places I would choose. So I would look at Verrado and Buckeye. I would look at Estrella Mountain Ranch in Goodyear. I would look at the new master plan community up in Peoria Surprise area, Sterling Grove by Toll Brothers. Now that is fantastic. Surprise is an awesome area, but that community, if you have not seen it, I did a video on it. It is amazing, lights out, huge. I mean, I don't even golf, but I think living there, I would probably take it up. So if I did not live in Gilbert, I would not hesitate to live in the West Valley. And again, pros and cons to each. If you have other questions, you know, let me know. Send me an email, text, phone call, whatever you have. Drop a comment below, and I'm happy to answer those for you. But yeah, I appreciate you watching. But make sure to check out these videos so you can see how to make Arizona your life. It's Rich Brecklin, Real Broker. I'll see you on the next one.